Welcome to today's class. The last class we discussed about Ohm's law. So Ohm's law states that the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends, provided the physical conditions and temperature must be constant. This law is obeyed only when the physical conditions like length, area, cross section, etc. must be same and temperature also must be same. Then only this law is obeyed. Current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. As the potential difference increases, current also increases. So some of the conductors obey Ohm's law. They are known as ohmic resistances. So ohmic resistors, another name of ohmic resistor is linear resistance. So ohmic resistors are the conductors which obey Ohm's law. Ohmic resistors are the conductors which obey Ohm's law. Another name of ohmic resistor is linear resistor. Example: aluminium, copper, iron. These are all examples of ohmic resistors. And non-ohmic resistors are the conductors which do not obey Ohm's law. Another name of non-ohmic resistor is non-linear resistors. Example: LED, solar cell, diode, transistor. These are all examples of non-ohmic resistors. If we draw the VI graph, when we draw VI graph of an ohmic resistor, it will be like this. Drawing VI graph by taking V or potential difference along the y-axis and current I along the x-axis. So V is taken, V or potential difference is taken along the y-axis and I or current is taken along the x-axis. Then how the graph will go? The graph will be like this straight line. Graph will be a straight line. So this is the VI graph. This is the VI graph of an ohmic resistor. This is a VI graph of an ohmic resistor. And if we draw VI graph of a non-ohmic resistor, it won't be a straight line. So we draw VI graph of a non-ohmic resistor. It won't be a straight line like this. It will be a curve like this. So this is the VI graph of a non-ohmic resistor. So from VI graph, from potential difference current graph, we can find the resistance by finding its slope. Or when we find the slope of VI graph, we can get the resistance. For example, So we find the slope of this part. So from this point, the difference of this point and this point, this is the difference of slope is equal to difference of y coordinate upon difference of x coordinate. So difference of y coordinate for this part is this part is called delta v. The difference of this point and this point, that is a delta v. And difference of x coordinate, this is the difference of x coordinate. So this is called delta I. Slope of a graph is the difference of y coordinate upon difference of x coordinate. So here the difference of y coordinate is the difference of voltage. Difference of y coordinate means it is the difference of voltage, and difference of x coordinate is the current, difference in current, that is called delta I. Delta stands for change. So slope is equal to difference of y coordinate and difference of y coordinate upon difference of x coordinate. Difference of x coordinate here, the difference of this point and this point, that is the difference of x coordinate, which is equal to delta I. So this slope, which is the difference of y coordinate upon difference of x coordinate, that is delta v upon delta I, which gives the resistance. In this case also we get the same thing. Suppose that we have to find the resistance between this point and this point. Then joining them, we draw a straight line and a right angle triangle. And here also we do the same thing, finding delta V upon delta I. What we get, that is called dynamic resistance. So this way, this is the VI graph of ohmic resistor and this is the VI graph of non-ohmic resistor. And here I have drawn VI graph of an ohmic resistor. Here I draw two graphs. So this is conductor A and another conductor is B. I have drawn two conductors A and B. Two conductors are drawn A and B. Out of this A and B, which one has more resistance and why? A has more resistance than B because the slope of A is more than the slope of B. That is why resistance of A is more than resistance of B. Next is what are the factors affecting the resistance of a conductor? So one is the material, another one is the length of the conductor, and next one is the area of cross section. Area of cross section. Then the next one is the temperature. So these are the four factors affecting the resistance of a conductor. The resistance of a conductor depends upon the material, length of the conductor, area cross section of the conductor, and temperature of the conductor. So material, if the conductor, if the substance has more number of free electrons, then it will have less resistance. More the number of free electrons, less is the resistance. the length of the conductor. So resistance of the conductor increases with increase in length. Then next one is area of cross section. Resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So when the area of cross section is more, resistance is less. The next one is temperature. Greater the temperature, greater is the resistance. So these are the factors affecting the resistance. The resistance of a wire is directly proportional to length. Resistance is directly proportional to length. So if the length of when the length of the wire increases, the resistance also increases. Suppose the length of the wire is doubled, keeping the thickness of the wire same, keeping the area cross section or thickness of the wire same, then what will happen to the resistance? So in that case, resistance also will be doubled. Suppose the length of a wire is tripled, keeping the thickness of the wire same, then what will happen to the resistance? Resistance also will be tripled. Suppose that the resistance of a wire is given as 2 ohm. The resistance of a wire is given as 2 ohm. And the length of the wire is tripled. Length of the wire becomes 3 times. Length of the wire is tripled, keeping the area of cross section same. In that case, what will be the new resistance? The resistance of a wire is given as 2 ohm and the length is tripled. Then the resistance is also tripled. In that case, what will be the new resistance? That will be 3 into 2. It will be equal to 6 ohm. Then resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. Resistance is inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So this is the area cross section of a wire. That is calculated by the formula IR square. If the area cross section is not mentioned, then if the radius is given, then we calculate the area cross section by the formula pi r square. So resistance is directly proportional to length. Resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Suppose that if the radius is given, then we calculate the area of cross section by the formula pi r square. So keeping these two things, R is proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to area cross section. By combining them, we can write resistance is proportional to L upon A. Resistance is proportional to L divided by A, or L divided by pi r square. Then now for removing the proportionality sign, we multiply it with a constant. This constant is called specific resistance. So resistance, for removing this proportionality sign, we multiply it with a constant. This constant is called specific resistance. Another name of specific resistance is resistivity. This constant is called specific resistance or resistivity. Suppose that we make the specific resistance as the subject. When we make a specific resistance as the subject, then we get the formula as R into A divided by L. So specific, So we make a specific resistance as the subject. When we make a specific resistance as the subject, we get the formula like this: R, resistance into area cross section upon length. Suppose the value of A is equal to, 1 and L is equal to 1, then what we will get? We will get R into 1 upon 1, which is equal to R. So this is the definition of specific resistance. Specific resistance is the resistance of a wire of unit length and unit area of cross section. Specific resistance is the resistance of a wire of unit length and unit area of cross section. So this is the definition of specific resistance or resistivity. The reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. Reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. Now let us write the unit of specific resistance. The unit of specific resistance is unit of resistance. Unit of resistance is ohm into unit of area, meter square, upon unit of length, meter. So meter square and meter square, 1 meter is cancelled. So we get the unit of specific resistance, that is a ohm meter. The unit of specific resistance is ohm meter. And if we have to write the unit of conductivity, conductivity is the reciprocal of resistivity. Then its unit will be 1 upon ohm meter. So what are the factors on which the specific resistance depends? Specific resistance is very low for metals and low for semiconductors and very high for insulators. Very low for metals, low for semiconductors and high for insulators. So specific resistance depends upon temperature. Specific resistance depends upon temperature. In the case of metals, with the increase in temperature, the specific resistance also increases. So specific resistance increases with increase in temperature for metals. In the case of semiconductors, specific resistance decreases with increase in temperature. Now we see some special cases. Suppose this is a wire. This is a wire. Okay, this is a wire and this is the area of cross section. A wire, this is a wire and this is the area cross section. Now by stretching the length of the wire is doubled. By stretching the length of the wire is doubled. Then how does the resistance change? So by stretching, if the length is doubled, then area of cross section will become half. Okay, by stretching, if the length is doubled, then area cross section, what will happen? Area cross section will become half. Then how does the resistance change? The first case, R1 is specific resistance into L upon A. Now the next case, the length is become 2 times, and the area cross section becomes half. So this 2 will come to the numerator. 2 into 2, 4. 4 into L upon plus V resistance into L upon A. Instead of this, we can substitute R1. Then the resistance will become 4 times. By stretching, if the length becomes 2 times, then area cross section will become half and the resistance will become 4 times. Then suppose that the resistance of a wire is given as 2 ohm, R1 is given as 2 ohm, and by stretching its length is doubled. By stretching its length is doubled. Then what is the new resistance? So the same method we will follow. Then the resistance will become 4 into 2, which will be equal to 8 ohm. Okay, and suppose that this is a wire, and this is the length of the wire, and this is the area cross section of the wire. And by stretching, the length becomes 4 times. By stretching, if the length becomes 4 times, then what will be the new resistance? So the length becomes 4 times. When the length becomes 4 times, area cross section will become 1/4. Then in this case, what will be the new resistance? So that will be 4 into 4, 16. By stretching, if the length becomes 4 times, then the resistance will become 16 times. 16. Suppose the resistance of a wire is given as 5 ohm, and the length becomes 4 times by stretching. Then what will be the new resistance? So same method we will follow. Then the new resistance will be 16 into 5, which is equal to 80 ohm. This way we calculate. Now we see the next case. So this is a wire. And the wire is doubled on itself. When the wire is doubled on itself, what is happening? When a wire is doubled on itself, the length becomes half. 2 times. A wire is doubled on itself. When a wire is doubled on itself, the length becomes half and area cross section becomes twice. Then what change will come? Length becomes when a wire is doubled on itself, the length becomes half and the area cross section becomes twice. Then what changes will come? So this is a formula to calculate the resistance. Resistance equal to specific resistance into L by A. The new resistance will be length becomes half, L by 2 upon A becomes 2 times. So this will be specific resistance. So specific resistance into L by 2A, that will be 1 by 4 into L by A. So we can write 1 by 4 into specific resistance into L by A. Then this can be replaced as R1. 1 by 4 into R1. Okay, this way we can write 1 by 4 into R1. Suppose the resistance of a wire is given as 16 ohm. The resistance of a wire is given as a 16 ohm, and the wire is doubled on itself. A wire is doubled on itself. So what is the new resistance? So the same method we follow. Then the new resistance will be 1 by 4 into 16, which is equal to 4 ohm. So these are the cases when a wire is doubled on itself, the resistance becomes 1/4. When a wire is tripled on itself, the resistance will become 1 by 9. Means length becomes 1/3 and area cross section becomes 3 times. In that case, the resistance will become 1/9. Now, choice of selecting wire. In the case of connecting wire, which are used for connecting electric components, it is usually made up of copper or aluminium. Why it is made up of copper or aluminium? Because copper and aluminium are good conductors of electricity, and they have low resistance. So connecting wires are made up of copper or aluminium because they are very good conductor of electricity and their resistance is very low. The next one is fuse wire. Fuse wire is made up of an alloy of lead and tin. Fuse wire is made up of an alloy of lead and tin because this alloy of lead and tin, it has a low melting point and high resistance. Then filament of an electric bulb, that is made up of tungsten because tungsten has a high resistance. Because tungsten has a high melting point, so won't be melted soon. Then heating element of coil, that is made up of material like nichrome, because nichrome has a high resistivity. Last topic is superconductor. So superconductor is a substance which has a zero resistance at a very low temperature. So today we have discussed these topics. Resistance, on what factor resistance depend, then resistivity, then factors affecting resistivity, factors affecting resistance, then different materials used for making different kind of substances, etc. So in next class we will discuss another topic.